Hey guys, King of Charms here to be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you a shoutcast featuring Shadow Mewtwo. For those of you that don't know, Shadow Mewtwo is the most powerful closer in the Retro Cup. And I didn't know, it does a lot of, if it hits, Side Strike does an insane amount of damage. If your Shadow Mewtwo can live and it can get to its moves, it can possibly absolutely obliterate your, yeah. It's nuts. You will see in this shoutcast just how really ridiculous and how hella stupid Shadow Mewtwo is able to just do an obscene amount of damage to your opponent. And when they think it will not kill, it in fact will or nearly almost kill you. So yes, this is a shoutcast featuring Shadow Mewtwo. It's not very spicy because yeah, it's expensive and whatnot, but it's also the most powerful closer, so I can't really say it's spicy. It's really good. It's just the fact that if it can actually live to its moves, because it's supremely squishy. But Mewtwo does have the highest attack stat in the Retro Cup, and its moves are ridiculously strong. But before we get started, my therapist mental health tip for the day is going to be really centered around anxiety. But this actually happened when I was streaming yesterday, because I very rarely get mad, but like this topic actually lit a little fire in me more than I would actually realize. So, anxiety. This is the one he gets the most. So, there's a lot of things that happen in the world. A lot of things that are outside of your control. Mainly, let me take for example, like, the war in Ukraine and everything like that. As a military veteran, I didn't know we were ever pulling out of Afghanistan. In fact, I didn't know it would go that bad. Nor did I know that there would be so many things going on. So whatever's happening outside the world right now, if it doesn't directly affect you in any way, shape, or form, don't worry about it. The amazing reason why is because usually what the topic was talked about yesterday, or like someone that was like in my Twitch chat, was basically that like China is going to try to take over the world one of these days, etc. Listen, if a communist country is going to try to take over the world, there's a lot of things that have to happen before that happens, and that's not going to be in my lifetime. So why should I worry, or why should I prepare for it? Just like you, me, and everybody else in the world, nobody knows what's going to happen or if we're going to die or not. Plus, if someone tries to take over the world, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that would go against that. So it would take a lot before another country or someone tried to take over the world. So you don't know if everything you worried about what's going on with the world, if you got hit by a car tomorrow and you die, guess what? All that worry you did was for no reason. So it's just a massive amount of anxiety. There are a lot of individuals out there that are very terrified of the world right now and are very, very anxious and aren't willing to go outside out of fear of something will happen to them. Well, but the thing is, we don't know when we're going to pass. So be mindful that you can die at any given moment. So with that being said, enjoy your life. Enjoy as much as you can and don't worry too much. If it's something that's really concerning and it's really debilitating your functioning, you should probably go see a mental health professional. But other than that, generally, and this is me as a therapist, what I do with my clients, especially my kiddos, you don't worry about what's going to happen to you, or why do you worry about what's going to happen later, because you don't know what's going to happen. You might be able to predict some scenarios, but when it comes to you in your life, you have no idea what's going to happen. So don't be anxious. So don't worry about the rest of the world. Live, do you, do your best, be the best version of you, and live your best life. Because there's a lot of bad things going on in the world right now, and we are very fortunate that you can watch my content and the fact that I can make content right now. So yes, make sure you do that. Plus, a lot of anxiety and all this other mess can also happen if you go to the deep end. So yeah, don't keep things don't let things live rent free in the back of your head unless it's actually important. Unlike something like that, where the world, someone's gonna take over the world or something like that. If it happens, it happens. It's probably not gonna be in your lifetime or my lifetime. But don't worry about it. Without further ado, this is my shoutcast featuring Shadow Mewtwo, and let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. Shadow Mewtwo is freaking nuts, and you're gonna see in the shoutcast just how crazy it is. We got Haunter onto our Walrein. Now, the only reason we win this lead is because Haunter's so squishy. Then they send in DD as their safe switch, and we're just gonna send in Mew. Mew's gonna be your general safe switch for this team, as with the last shoutcast I did with ABB. We're literally just taking Walrein and Mew and then slapping Shadow Mewtwo in the back, because all these two are going to set up Mewtwo so that shields are down and Mewtwo goes to town. So we're going to fire off flame charges. I normally don't wild charge here. I'm just going to flame charge because Shadow Claw chunks and you do resist these counters. So Thunderbolt's going to go through. And as you see, you're able to survive one, but we're going to shield the second one. This is likely a cycle boost though, so it kind of sucks. We got you baited. You know what I mean? It's like a great offer on. It's like a great online offer online. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not true. But as here, view is true. We're gonna be able to get 2 wild charges here, fire off both of them, and break both upon their shields. Now we set up Wall Rain and we set up Mewtwo to sweep. Our opponent will likely shield both of these. They don't want to lose their Haunter, but now we're set up to pretty much just absolutely obliterate our opponent with just absolute nukes of destruction. We get both shields. I send in my we send in Wall Rain and we see a Graveler. And hi, Go Battle Lag. You know, our favorite and most unasked for companion of all time, Go Battle Lag. The greatest thing since sliced bread. Welcome to Go Battle Lag. But this is not great because our opponent will take double super effective damage from that Earthquake, and then all we have to do is fire the Weather Ball. But before we get Icicle Spear. But before we even get that chance, our opponent top lefts because they know it's game. That's GG's. In this instance, we did Shadow Mewtwo didn't even see the light of day, but you know what? I kind of wanted to just throw it in there to like thing, but I was just like, nah, I wanted to like set it up. But you will definitely see Shadow Mewtwo an option now. We have a Ariados into Wall Rain. So, little secret here, you win the 2 shield. No, seriously, you win the 2 shield. If they go straight lunge, they'll debuff you, but because Wall Rain is so bulky, mine is also a rank 3. You'll notice in this matchup that my IVs will actually matter. My Japanese Wall Rain, yes, this is a Wall Rain from Japan. If you've seen my previous videos, when I was in Japan, there was an event, it was during December, during Christmas, and they had an ice event going on, and Spheals were spawning everywhere. So I caught this rank 3 in Tokyo, and I'm so glad I hoard Pokemon, because when I got it, I was like, oh my god, that's a rank 3. So I kept it up to this point, evolved it during Community Day, and now it is one of the most powerful Pokemon in my arsenal. As you see here, because my freaking, it's so thick, it's super thick. Except now we get Noctowl locked into our Mew, which is actually terrible. We know we have the Superior in the back, so I'm going to shield 1. This is likely a Shadow Ball. And I'm going to attempt to break both shields from this Noctowl. We still have a Superior in the back. Superior is decently thick. But the question is, can Superior survive one whole Side Strike from a Shadow Mewtwo from hell? We're about to find out. Flame charges will go through. My opponent doesn't shield, hoping that they keep both of their, hoping that basically they're going to keep both of their shields through Superior. Superior is bulky enough to hopefully they can find out a win condition. In this instance, there's probably not one, to be honest with you. Finally start grabbing shields. They're going to fire a second move. I will shield this one just so I can break their last shield. And what they have to do is my opponent has to blow their energy on Noctowl or blow their energy on Superior. We're going to go straight for the flame charge here. Our opponent should likely shield this just because of the fact that if this is a wild charge will kill. So we're gonna get this Mew is on fire, and I'm not going to sing that song because it's a very overrated song. And when it was out, I've seen it on the radio. I've heard it on the radio way too many times, and yeah. Sky Attack's gonna go through. It will kill, like I mentioned. We're gonna send in Wall Rain. We're gonna send in the combo. We're gonna fire off the Icicle Spear, and this Icicle Spear will go through. This will KO the Noctowl, and then legit, all I have to do is send in Shadow Mewtwo, and my opponent, we're about to find out whether or not Sideshift OKO one-hitter quitters sends this Superior to the Shadow Realm after one strike, or that passenger on the plane with Mike Tyson. You saw on social media? Dang, that was rough. I feel bad for them, but at the same time, that's what happens when you piss off a Shadow. That's what happens when you piss off Mike Tyson. That's what happens when Shadow Mewtwo gets pissed off. Go Shadow, and then absolutely one-shots the Superior. And that's GG's. Holy crap. That was a lot of damage. I was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh my god. Superior is pretty bulky, mind you. And in the green, it still can take a ton of damage, except for a Shadow Mewtwo Side Strike. We get Poliwrath into Wall Rain, and this is terrible. So I'm going to switch out immediately here. And it happens to actually be a Bubble Poliwrath, which actually isn't that bad. So my opponent fires after like 4 or 5 bubbles. However, if this is an Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch, Poliwrath, I can live a few moves from, well, not a few, more like probably like 2 or probably like 3 Ice Punches, give or take. But as you see, my opponent does a Power Punch. So I'm like, you know what? They're probably going to do it again. And I call it correctly. They do double Power Punch. My brain's like, why would you double Power Punch? I'm like, Power Punch on Poliwrath is good, but with Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch, you got a lot of coverage. I know Poliwrath's carrying Skull nowadays, but still, like, it's still a better option. As you see, we're going to get 2 Wall Charges off. So, you know what? Because of this, I did this on purpose, so my opponent is going to try to bubble me down now that I'm -4, and I'm able to get to another Wild Charge. So this was insanely calculated. absolutely calculated. We break both shields, and now this is pretty much... This is game. Now we get to see, for science, just how much damage Shadow Mewtwo with Ice Beam does. The reason I have Shadow Mewtwo with Ice Beam is for the flyers and whatnot. I'm not willing to spend another Elite Camp for a Shadow Ball either. So, does an Ice Beam against a green Unova Fisk kill this thing in one shot? No, it doesn't, but oh my gosh, it gets it to where one literal Cycle Cut will KO, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing is a monster. Shadow Mewtwo, not only is it really really cool, look at all those, it looks like a Super Saiyan 2, you know, because Super Saiyan 2 has the lightning and everything like that. It literally looks like a Super Saiyan 2, but Shadow Mewtwo looks really pissed off, and Side Strike puts this Wish Cache in the red. We are literally annihilating our opponent right now. I'm going to send in Mew to try to Shadow Claw down, and then I'm going to send in Wall Raid. A lot fancier than it really has to be. I should just ideally send in Wall Raid, but as you see, I send in Mew, I Shadow Claw down, one Powder Stone will KO that Fisk in the back, and that's GG's. Oh my gosh. You know what? Omaewa no Shinjiro. That means, and Nani, that means you're already dead. So as soon as you see the Mewtwo, the Fist of the North Star is going to come out and absolutely end your life. That's a wonderful anime, by the way. That quote is so godforsaken iconic. It's amazing. Alright, next up we got Shiny Pidgeot into our Wall Raid. They send in Mew as a C-switch, and I send in my own Mew, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of bad. Okay, so here's the reason why. One, that's a shiny move, so that's a shiny Mew, so we know shinies do more damage. But here's also the second issue here. It's the fact that they have the energy lead, but it doesn't really matter because the reason why is with Flame Charge, we're going to be able to get the buff here. So with Flame Charge, we're going to be able to use Flame Charge buff, and then after that, what we're going to do is, we're just going to Shadow Claw down. That Pidgeot's going to come back in. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get 2 Wild Charges off so I can break both of my opponent's shields. Then Mewtwo and Walrein can set up for the sweep just because Mew has so much damage. I mean, Mew has so much energy, such a huge energy lead here. We should be able to get to 2 Wild Charges. I'm going to fire this first one off. The reason I do at this interval is because our opponent is going to fire a Gust, and we should be able to get the second one off. This one will never register just because the Wild Charge will go off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap in Walrein. So Wild Charge is going to go off, I'm going to swap in Walrein, and I'm going to try to gather some energy for Ice Cold Spear. I will not fire, I will not shield here. I know this is a Brave Bird, but I want to save my shield for Mewtwo. Brave Bird goes off, we get hit by the Mach, 69 420 wind, freaking Brave Bird, and as you see here, all we're going to do is we're going to Weather Ball this Ariados that comes in. I hopefully can get to 2 because of the fact that Walrein is so bulky, and I'm able to get to 2, which is great. Because what happens here is I can send in Mew, force him to sponge all this energy, and then send in Mew to the Cycle Cut down. One Side Strike should theoretically kill that Pidgeot at this range. So, as you see, that Powder Snow goes down. Shadow Claw tries to go through, but this will KO, and then after that, I'm going to send in Mewtwo. Mewtwo hits a Side Strike, and that's game. Because I have one little bit of energy, and all we're going to do is we're going to Side Strike. Do you see me hit for Ice Beam? I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Side Strike kills. We've seen Side Strike absolutely eviscerate opponents left and right, and maybe with the Omaewa no Shinjiro, Nani, what? You will die. Like, again, Fist of the North Star, fantastic anime. Or like Saitama in One Punch Man. Those are the only 2 descriptions of what nukes can say, especially when you have Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo is pissed off, and Shadow Mewtwo wants to take your money, and take your soul, and take your elo, which isn't existent in Season 11. We get Deoxys Defense into our Wall Raid here, and I'm going to switch out because, as you know, fighting beats ice, and we get a greeted. This is terrible. Not only does our opponent lead win, they also win switch. And I make a bit of a misplay here. Flame Charges, we're going to go straight Flame Charge. However, the misplay I make here is watch what's going to happen. So, we're going to shield this first Crunch. I should not shield the first one. The reason being is because of the fact that Crunch debuffs, you're in a lot of trouble. You definitely want to shield the second one. And luckily, our opponent does not debuff us. Because if we get one defense debuff, and then we're screwed. That's basically what happens. Flame Charge goes through. I'm hopefully going to be able to get to, I should be able to get to another Flame Charge. I can eat one whole Crunch here, hit a Flame Charge, and do some chip damage. That's the plan. Then I'm going to let our Mew go, and I'm going to send in... I'm going to send either Mew or Walrein to farm down this Greedent completely. It's probably insanity because of the fact that Greedent is obscenely thick. You know, it's got a really big booty. It's chunky, it's cute, it's got the cheeks, and it's obscenely annoying in Pokemon Go as well as Pokemon Unite. Body Slime goes off. After this, I send... Watch what I'm actually deciding, do I farm down with Walrein or do I farm down with Mewtwo? And then I like to farm down with Mewtwo. As you see, I'm trying to Psycho Cut down here. I don't want to eat another crunch, so I'm going to shield. However, Mewtwo can hopefully do some damage, because we already know Deoxys Defense is coming in. Or something else, because Deoxys Defense does resist Psychic. So my plan is, I can either sack Wall Raid and then set up Mewtwo for the sweep, or they send it to Wall Raid, and I'm like, wait, what? Because I have 2 Side Strikes. This one, they have to force the shield, but how much does a Side Strike do? Oh my god! Yo, when my opponent did a shield, I was like, oh my god. I had no idea that Shadow Wall Raid almost gets yeeted by 1 Shadow Mewtwo Side Strike. We grab the shield. How much does a Side Strike resisted from a Deoxys Defense do? We know Deoxys Defense got mad defense, but Shadow Mewtwo does more than half, at least at the rate of what this Deoxys Defense is right now. All I'm going to do is I'm going to double up on Icicle Spear, and that should be GG's. But oh my gosh, the fact that our opponent probably thought they could tank the Shadow Side Strike, but I didn't even know that Side Strike would do literally 90% of that Wall Raid's that Shadow Wall Raid's HP. All we gotta do is go for double Icicle Spear. This one might kill, actually. I fire 1, and then I figure that Powder Snow should actually kill at this range, and that's hopefully we came out with a dub. As you see, Powder Snow goes down, and then we are vibing right now. Oh my god. When I saw that in live battling, I was like, oh my god, that's GG's. Holy crap, my god, mother of mercy. The amount of damage all of that did, I had no idea would function like that. So, yeah, that was nuts. Shadow Mewtwo, if you can use it in a cup, it's a ton of fun. But for your opponent, if you didn't know something kills, yeah, I did not know a Side Strike non-shielded nearly yeets a Shadow Wall Raid as thick as it is. Because believe it or not, even though Wall Raid is Shadow, it still has a decent amount of HP. And it absolutely gets yeeted by a Shadow Mewtwo. Dear mother mercy. If you enjoyed that absolute destruction, I did too. Except I was more shocked and terrified than anything. Like, dear god, if Shadow Mewtwo, like, holy crap, that thing was strong. And yeah, if someone uses it in a regional team and does it with like a shield breaker strat, that thing's terrifying. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the insane nukes that Shadow Mewtwo was able to show us. And if you have one, it's very expensive to build. But if you're willing to elite team it, oh my god, it's a lot of fun. But do me a huge favor. Please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. You can easily subscribe by using the little box on the bottom right there. Really appreciate my current subscribers. All of you that comment, I do my best to comment to reply to you guys within like 24 hours and whatnot. But you guys have been doing that, and I really do appreciate y'all's support. And again, good luck on y'all on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.